Imagine sap that melts skin like battery acid. An apple that closes your throat in 3 minutes. A leaf that injects pain so pure that suicide becomes your only option for relief. Forget your Sunday strolls. Today, we aren't looking at the scenery. We are learning how to survive the plant kingdom. Number 10. The Manchineel, the Tree of Death. Imagine yourself on a paradise beach in the Caribbean. The sun is beating down, the air is salty. You're looking for shade. You see this tree, wide, welcoming, with small green fruits that look like wild apples. It is the perfect trap. The Spanish conquistadors didn't call it La Manzanilla de la Muerte for poetic effect. It is literally the little apple of death. Everything in this organism is an active biological weapon. The bark, the leaves, the wood. Everything oozes a milky white latex loaded with Forbol, an excruciatingly violent skin irritant. If you have the misfortune of taking shelter under its branches during a downpour, the rainwater mixed with the sap will turn into acid rain. Your skin won't just turn red, it will blister, necrose, and peel away as if you had been scalded with deep frying oil. But the worst part is the fruit. Those who have tasted it describe a sweet, almost peppery flavor at first. Then it's the apocalypse. The throat tightens, mucous membranes swell to the point of asphyxiation, the esophagus burns, and the airways block up. You end up on all fours on the sand, unable to scream, while your digestive system goes into internal hemorrhaging. It's a tree you don't touch, and you don't even burn it, because the smoke from its wood can permanently blind you. It is nature's hatred incarnate in chlorophyll. Number 9. The coconut tree, the silent assassin. We often laugh about death by coconut. We imagine a cartoon, a comical noise, a bump on the head. The reality is much darker, much bloodier. Forget the postcard image. The coconut tree is a siege tower that bombards the ground with blunt projectiles. A mature coconut full of water weighs between 2 and 4 kilos, 4 to 9 pounds. It often falls from a height of 20 to 30 meters. Do the physics. Upon impact, it's not a fruit touching you. It's the equivalent of a ton of pressure concentrated on a few square centimeters of your skull. It's not a bump. It is massive cranial trauma, a depressed fracture, the brain crushing against the bone wall. The most terrifying thing about this tree is the lack of warning signs. No cracking, no rustling. Just gravity doing its work in silence. Medical examiners who inspect victims of coconut drops report injuries similar to car accidents or warhammer blows. In the tropics, locals know you don't nap under the palms, the green death doesn't warn you, it just waits for the wind to shift to drop its payload. Number 8. The suicide tree, Cerbera odolam. Its scientific name is Cerbera odolam, but in India, it is known by a name that chills the blood, the suicide tree. It is a magnificent tree with immaculate white flowers that grows in the mangroves of Kerala. But behind this beauty lies the perfect murder weapon, responsible for more poisoning deaths than any other plant in the world. The kernel of its fruit contains cerberin. It is a potent cardiac glycoside, a vicious toxin that blocks the calcium channels in your heart. The result? Your heart muscle begins to beat irregularly at races and then it stops. The scariest part is the discretion of this poison. For decades, cerberin was undetectable in standard autopsies. It became the favorite tool of assassins and the desperate. You grate the kernel, mix it into a spicy dish with lots of chili to mask the bitterness, and serve dinner. The victim falls asleep and never wakes up, their heart simply having ceased to function. It is a cold, clinical, bloodless death, orchestrated by a tree that turned its reproductive cycle into a murder factory. It doesn't kill by accident. It provides the ammunition to those who want to kill. Number 7. The strychnine tree, Strychnos nux vomica. The name alone evokes Victorian detective novels and assassinations in English manners. Strychnine. It comes from here, from this banal-looking tree native to Southeast Asia. The seeds, round and flat, look like gray coat buttons, but chewing on one is inviting the devil into your nervous system. Strychnine poisoning is one of the most horrible ways to leave this world. It is not a peaceful death. The toxin attacks the central nervous system, removing all the brakes on your muscles. Your body begins to convulse violently. The spine arches backwards so extremely that only your heels and the top of your head touch the ground, an agonizing position called opisthottonos. You remain perfectly conscious while your body breaks itself. The contraction of facial muscles causes what is called the sardonic grin, risus sardonicus, a forced rictus, a grimace of terror frozen on the victim's face as they die of asphyxiation, their respiratory muscles tetanized. The strychnine tree doesn't just want to kill you, it wants to turn you into a grotesque puppet before shutting you down. Even breathing the dust of its bark can cause dizziness. It is the sadist of the forest. Number 6. The sandbox tree, the dynamite tree. Nature invented the fragmentation grenade long before man. Meet Hura crepitans, nicknamed the dynamite tree. Forget subtle poisons. Here we are talking about ballistics. The trunk of this tree is already a warning. It is covered in conical spines, sharp as daggers to stop anyone from climbing. It is a living medieval fortress, but the real nightmare hangs from the branches. Its fruits, shaped like small pumpkins, are biological time bombs. When they are ripe and the air is dry, the internal tension becomes unbearable. The fruit literally explodes. Not a small opening, no. A loud detonation comparable to a gunshot, which projects the seeds at over 250 kilometers per hour, 155 miles per hour. These stone-hard seeds are ejected within a 100-meter radius. If you are in the trajectory, it's like taking a large caliber bullet or shrapnel. They can gouge out an eye, lacerate skin, or cause severe hemorrhaging. This tree doesn't just sow its seeds, it opens fire on anything that moves. It is a vegetable war zone where every fruit is an anti-personnel mine ready to blow. Hey. Let's take a breather. Come on, a little dilemma to test your survival instinct in the comments. Be honest, what would you prefer? Option A, being forced to take a 2-hour nap under a coconut tree during a windstorm. Helmets are forbidden, obviously. Or option B, eating a mixed salad with just a tiny bit of fruit from the suicide tree. You have a 50% chance your heart stops, but a 50% chance of just having a really bad trip. So, are you playing Russian roulette with gravity or with chemistry? Tell me down below. I want to see who the real crazy ones are. Okay, done laughing. Let's go back into the darkness. Number 5. The Bunya pine, the Jurassic killer. We return to the time of dinosaurs. The Bunya pine is a living fossil, a giant that saw prehistoric creatures dominate the Earth. And it has kept its defense methods from that era. It is a 50-meter tall monster, dark, imposing, with sharp leaves capable of piercing thick clothing. But it's not the foliage that worries us, it's the cones. Forget the cute pine cones you pick up in the forest. Bunya cones are biological anvils. They can be the size of a basketball and weigh up to 10 or 15 kilos, 22 to 33 pounds. Imagine a green bowling ball, bristling with hard scales, falling from the height of a 10-story building. When a Bunya cone falls, it doesn't just hit, it pulverizes. It can smash a car roof, break concrete, and turn a human skull into dust. In certain regions of Australia, safety perimeters are set up around these trees during the drop season. Walking under a bunya is agreeing to flip a coin for your life against a remnant of an era where everything was bigger, heavier, and deadlier. Number 4. The Gympie Gympie, the suicide plant. If pain had a physical form, it would look like this Australian shrub with broad, heart-shaped leaves. The Gympie Gympie is probably the most sadistic plant in creation. Its leaves are covered in millions of microscopic silica hairs like crushed glass filled with a potent neurotoxin. A simple brush against it triggers hell. Victims compare the pain to being burned by hot acid while being electrocuted. And it doesn't stop. The toxin is stable. The hairs stay in the skin. The pain can last for days, months, even years. Cold water only increases the suffering. The darkest legend tells the story of an officer who, not knowing the plant, used it as toilet paper in the bush. The anal pain and agony were such that he ended up shooting himself in the head to put an end to it. Even specimens dried in museums for 100 years can still sting you. It is eternal torture, a fire that never goes out, hidden in seemingly harmless green fuzz. Number 3. Teredo wood, the infestation. Here, we're cheating a bit. It's not the tree that kills, it's what lives inside it. In brackish waters, dead wood or mangrove roots become the nest of something foul. Teredos, or shipworms. They aren't worms, but bivalve mollusks, naked, elongated clams that bore into wood to hide. Imagine swimming near a floating log. You touch it. It gives way under your fingers. Inside, it is no longer wood. It is a teeming, slimy mass of whitish, pulsating creatures. It is a trypophobia nightmare. These organisms devour the structure from the inside, turning solid pillars into fragile traps. The danger is insidious. Harbor structures, boat hulls, and submerged trees collapse without warning, gnawed away by these termites of the sea. It is a visual and structural horror. Getting trapped or impaled by rotten wood, infested with these worms wriggling on your open wound, is a vision that haunts divers. It is nature reminding us that everything dead will be consumed, and sometimes what supports you is already rotten on the inside. Number 2. The common yew, the shadow of graveyards. There is a reason why the yew is found in European cemeteries. The Druids knew it, the Christians understood it. It is the tree of resurrection, but mostly the tree of death. Its wood is eternal, but its chemistry is fatal. The yew contains taxines, a cocktail of cardiotoxic alkaloids. The horror of the yew lies in its trap, the aril. It is the small red, sweet, gelatinous flesh that surrounds the seed. It is the only part of the tree that is not toxic. Children are often tempted to eat it, but in the center of this red sweetness lies a black, hard, bitter seed. If you bite the seed, you unleash death. A few seeds are enough to kill an adult. The symptoms are brutal: dizziness, dilated pupils, and lightning-fast cardiac arrest. Livestock found dead under yew trees often still have the branch in their mouths, struck down before they could even swallow. It is a tree that guards the dead, and if you don't respect it, is quick to send you to join them. It is dark, dense, and its shadow is literally toxic. Number 1. The bottle tree of Namibia, the poisoned mirage. At the top of our list sits a desert survivor, a vegetable chimera that grows in the arid lands of Namibia. Pachypodium leili. It looks like a pot-bellied bottle topped with thorny branches, a promise of water in an ocean of sand and thirst. It is the ultimate trap. The water it contains is saturated with toxic alkaloids. But man has found a way to make this tree even more terrifying. Local tribes like the San use the sap of this tree to coat their arrowheads. They boil the sap until they get a black, sticky, deadly paste. One scratch from an arrow impregnated with this poison, and it's the end. But not a quick end. The toxin attacks the heart while causing blindness. You die blind with a shattered heart in the middle of the desert. This tree is an arms factory for hunters. It protects its water with death, and it offers death to those who know how to extract it. It is the lethal beauty of the desert. What looks like it could save you is exactly what will kill you. The lesson is simple. Beauty is often a warning. What is bright, what is sweet, what seems freely offered, often hides a price your body cannot pay. Respect the silence of the trees, or that silence will become yours. If this dive into horror botany pleased you, plant your roots in the subscribe button. Leave a like before necrosis takes your fingers. I will see you very soon for a new dark discovery. See ya!